Aloha and good evening. We're going to do a very special two-part video course, and this two-part video course is, well, one of the courses I've been wanting to do for a long time to show people. So we're going to go ahead and do a video course. It's called Natural Mouthwash and Oral Disinfectant. This is a huge problem on many people. Remember, the gums inside your mouth are one of the ways that a lot of different parasites and a lot of different types of toxicity get a chance to squeeze into your body. So a lot of disease, as they say, starts not in the mouth, it starts in your gums. So the type of mouthwash we're going to do is, you can call it a homemade mouthwash. It's taken me like 40 years to sort of like change the recipes around to make it so it's effective, okay, but it's easy to make. So we're going to make a basic formula for daily use, and we're going to use also, on part 2, we're going to go ahead and do a therapeutic formula. And the therapeutic formula has, well, a lot of things in it that we're not going to do on YouTube, only because of the controversial substances possibly that a lot of people, well, don't use for what we're going to use it for. But we're going to show you the basic recipe, which is a really good recipe no matter what. So anybody that smokes cigarettes, okay, why do you have receding gums? Anybody that smokes cannabis, anybody that has any residue from anything in their mouth, okay, you wind up getting things that grow in your mouth and they eat your gums. And what kind of bacteria is that? Those are called flesh-eating bacteria. So you need to neutralize these guys, is because you're constantly having sugar in your mouth. You're constantly having their food supply. And this is a problem for almost everybody. And if you look at most people's gums, you can tell, just like if you look at someone's feet and they have toe fungus, that means you're on your way to getting sickness. If you have receding gum lines, you can always tell a very healthy person by if they have all their own teeth, if their gums, okay, aren't receding and getting really long. So is there a way to be able to not only sanitize your mouth, but to be able to well, you can say kill what's inside your mouth that not only is eating your flesh, okay, the gums, but it's also eating the enamel. Why do you get cavities? These are enamel-eating bacteria. And so the therapeutic formula we're going to show you is to be able to add many different types of simple compounds that will go ahead and actually promote healthy healing of the enamel. Number one reason is because it's going to get rid of the enamel-eating bacteria. So mouthwash is just not, just because you have bad breath, okay? And this is a therapy. So the mouthwash that we're going to show you first, okay, is going to be the basic therapy, but it's got a lot of good stuff in here. And it's not just putting it in your mouth. Remember, you're going to use this and you're going to try to keep this mouthwash because, again, it's a therapy. You're going to keep it in for about 2 minutes. So once we show you how to make this, when you do the therapy, you put it in your mouth and you swish it back and forth really good. Go ahead and do whatever you're going to do in the house and just keep swishing it around, okay? It takes, if you want to go ahead and actually change any type of ecology in the mouth, it takes at least 5 minutes to go ahead and actually kill things. But you can change the terrain in just 2 minutes. So if you want to go ahead and have a more therapeutic dose with the basic formula, just keep it in your mouth longer. So you can keep this formula here in your mouth for up to 30 minutes. Go for a walk. Okay? Go for cleaning the house, whatever you're going to go ahead and do. So now, again, you see a lot of products here, but it's all basic stuff. Let's just go over the basic formula. What is this? Beautiful looking stuff. Okay? This is Soleil salt. If you haven't seen the video on how to make ficosine and violeta Soleil salt, and it's very easy to make. You just take the tint that we've designed. It's spirulina, blue-green algae, and beet in combination. So red and blue makes this purple color, violet. And so this is Soleil salt. You can see the pieces of salt down there, rocks of salt, and this salt will go ahead and become the strongest salt at 26% concentration, and the salt will not dissolve anymore. So this is a disinfectant. Regular salt does nothing. Okay, it has to be at the higher potencies. So this is the only salt that I use. It's liquid salt, and they call it Soleil. This is made out of pink Himalayan salt. So we'll go over the recipe in a sec when I make it real quick. I'm just going to show you some of the products and why would you use them. So that's a sanitizer. Remember, you can go ahead and use salt for just a saltwater flush. Okay, you can use salt on your skin. Remember, the ocean actually disinfects a lot of people that have a lot of skin problems because they go into the ocean and it's salty. And of course, this is another salt. This is sodium bicarbonate. Very special to use. You can clean your laundry with it, and clean your floors with it. You can use sodium bicarbonate for about 50 different uses, but we're going to use this again for sanitizing the mouth. This is one of the best ways also. We'll go ahead and go over the toothpaste I'm going to show you how to make also. Natural toothpaste that you don't have to buy mouthwash anymore. And first of all, the mouthwashes that you buy, you find me a good one, okay? That's number one, economical, okay? A little bottle this big, and I'm going to sell it to you for $7, okay? And the things that are in this chemical mouthwash, alcohol, okay, all different, remember, very inferior. They even put fluoride in these mouthwashes. You're going to throw that away. If you give that mouthwash to your dog, how about it'll kill your dog? And you're putting it in your mouth, and it says do not swallow on there for a reason. So everything that we put in here, you can swallow. Remember, anything you put on your skin, anything you put in your mouth, anything you use as an enema system, it has to be able to be metabolized by your body. And if it's a chemical, any form of a chemical, it accumulates. So the two salts we put in, here's the third salt. Okay, this is potassium bicarbonate. Very smart. We've done lots of videos, immunity booster drinks and different things to be able to show you how to get your shot of potassium for the day. So we're going to use a small amount of potassium bicarbonate, a large amount of sodium bicarbonate, a decent amount, and we'll show you the recipe real quick when we make it, of Soleil salt. So you can see 3 salts right there. All right, so let's push those salts right there. Remember, the salts are the best thing for you to be able, there's 12 salts in the body. And these are 3 of them. And the salts are the best thing to be able to sanitize and also regenerate. Now, we're also going to go ahead and use magnesium minerals. And these are not just magnesium minerals, they're ionic trace minerals and trace minerals. There's about 80 other minerals, but the most constituent, or the amount of minerals that are in here, the most highest quantity is magnesium. So we're going to use that. The magnesium is what for? The magnesium, if you put it, you guys have all used this, right? And let me introduce everybody, just not by name right now, but we have a group here for 21 days. Some people may be longer. And everybody's going through a variety of different types of collective therapies that have to do with detoxification and rejuvenation. So everybody's now on what, 2nd day of water fasting, okay? And we've got people here from around the world, okay, that have taken, some of them 40 hours to get here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go through, not only, remember, distilled water, but you're going to use a lot of collective therapies, and this is one of them right here. These are therapies that you use at home on a daily use. And if you have trench mouth, you got gum disease, or you've got receding gums, or if you know that you've got problems in your mouth, like really bad breath, you've got a problem. And so this is the therapeutic side. And of course, we'll go over that on Earther Academy. But we're going to use on here activated charcoal. I have terpenes here, castor bean oil, hydrogen peroxide food grade, oregano, and iodine, and also TSP, borax. But there's a specific recipe here. It's because you don't want too much of one or another, is because some of these are very strong. So like I said, I found this recipe is because I had gum disease for a while, okay? I had a tooth, and this is why, of course, why do you do what you do? It's because, number one, it's because you got the problem yourself. And so we're trying to figure out not only how this is going to work for me, but does it work on other people? So I got a cavity in my mouth, and that's from just eating good. People say, how could you get a cavity if you're so healthy? Well, eat a piece of lemon or eat a piece of orange, have something stick between your teeth, and that stuff will go ahead and eat your tooth. So what do you do to be able to stop that tooth from rotting? Okay, and this is the formula that you would use for this. So the rest of the formula here is real basic. We're going to put in some essential oils. We're going to use peppermint, okay? And peppermint, of course, gives you nice fresh breath, opens up your nostrils, and we're going to also use clove oil, which is a, it has eugenol in it, and eugenol is an anesthetic, and it's also a very good disinfectant. If you want to sweeten it up, we'll show you. You can put a few drops of stevia in. I like mine the way it is, but you can put stevia in there. We're going to also add MSM powder, sulfur. Sulfur is very important to put in your mouthwash. So, like I said, this has got not just like peppermint. You could put peppermint water and sodium bicarbonate and get a cheap mouthwash. But this mouthwash, remember, you're going to keep in your mouth and it's going to absorb into your gums. That's the only way you get your gums to stop doing what they're doing, is you have to keep this in your mouth for a little while. This is fossil shell flour or diatomaceous earth, and it's a very fine, fine powder. So that's going to also go. And then we're going to add living silica, and that's this simple formula. So let's just make this real quick. I've got distilled water here. Let me drink something that's a little high. Okay, so I want to make myself a mouthwash, and then you guys can make your own. And remember, this is a formula that you can tailor yourself, but I'm going to show you what I found out that works really good. Okay, so 3 things that anybody really needs, okay, to clean your gums and your teeth is, well, first of all, you need to protect your toothbrush with a little protector if you can. These are really good. Spray some hydrogen peroxide in there, wash it off, put it back in its case, because if not, it gets full of bacteria. Now, this is a soft bristle brush, and it's made from bamboo. You never use anything other than soft if you can. If not, you're probably wearing your gums away. And we're going to use a abrasive substance in here. Okay, remember, this is a mouthwash, and when you're finished, you get a chance to brush your teeth. And also, you may want to floss, and I like using the thick floss. And the floss is to be able to go under the gum line before you even do the mouthwash. Okay, so the gums, remember, recede is because, let's say this is the tooth and the gum comes down to here. You're trying to go ahead and stop the bacteria that lives against the tooth and against the flesh, because that's where it lives. It's not on the outside. You can brush all you want to. And in fact, if the microbe's on there, it's made the flesh sick. And if you push too hard, because a lot of people really push hard when they brush, you're just wiping off your gums. You're losing them. I used to do that. Okay, so tongue scraper. Everybody gets a copper tongue scraper. I got a ball downstairs now. Copper tongue scraper is the best tongue scraper to get because it's actually antibiotic, you can call it, nothing wants to live on this. And you can see it turns a little green, and I've had this one for about a year. They last forever, and when you finish with the mouthwash, you're going to go ahead and tongue scrape every time before you eat. You're going to tongue scrape, okay? And if you're fasting, you want to tongue scrape 3 or 4 times a day, because the gut wall flora that live here live on your tongue, and they have a lot to do with your control, gut to brain physiology. So what do? You scrape them off before you eat, okay? And also, if you scrape your tongue as you're detoxing, you'll notice sometimes, does anybody have white tongue so far? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Okay, that's good. It's all that stuff coming to the surface. How about any black tongues? Okay? No? Does anybody ever used tongue scrapers before? Mm-hmm. No. Everybody? No? Oh, you're missing out. Remember, this is a $5 piece of equipment. Okay? And this is the best piece of equipment anybody could use if you're fasting and before you eat, is because if you take off the microbes on the top of your mouth, in your mouth, now you can finally taste your food, and your microbes have nothing to do with it, because you're coughing up constantly bacteria from the gut, and the mouth is what is mind controlling what you like. So you've never usually found out what you like, only is because a lot of times this gut to mouth connection has not been severed. And so that's what you're doing all right now by fasting. You're severing a lot of the connections that you have within yourself. So, you know, tongue scraper, soft bristle, and this is bamboo. Like I said, these little capsules are great to go ahead and protect it. And you don't just put it in there when you're finished. You put in a spray of hydrogen peroxide in there. If not, this thing's gonna be like a root canal. It's just gonna make more mold than just leaving it out to let it dry. Okay, so floss. So 3 tools that you need no matter what if you're doing anything that has to do with your mouth. And these are the 3 best tools. Not a hard toothbrush. The stainless steel tongue scrapers I don't like, is because they change my taste. If you eat food with stainless steel, what does it taste like? It tastes like metal when you get clean. Okay? Put a piece of aluminum foil in your mouth and see what it tastes like. Okay? It makes you, sort of cringe a little bit. Okay? And then most people eat and they use stainless steel tongue scrapers, which I don't really like that much. They work good, but they're not good for getting rid of your connection to your gut. See, the copper basically short circuits out the mouth. The stainless steel doesn't. So copper is very special. And so I put copper in my fulvic acid. I put copper in my raw apple cider vinegar, okay? And I put a piece of copper in there, and it slowly dissolves. So we have lots of videos on that, on how to be able to use copper in your diet, because everybody's copper deficient. So first thing we're going to do here is Soleil salt. Let's see, need a spoon? First drawer. You see, I don't know anything in this kitchen. It's because Carmen went ahead and reorganized everything, but I guessed well. And Carmen's from Germany. She's one of the assistants here, showing a lot of people a lot of different things. And way in the back there's Carlos, and he just flew in. There he is. And of course, he's another good, we call terrain modification, rejuvenation engineer. You did what, 14-day water fast when you were here?
Correct.
Okay, just remember that. 14 days. That's a long time. And this is Dr. Nick right here, right behind you. And he's the medical director here. Okay, keeps everybody in line, and we won't say babysit everybody, but you're guiding everybody. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Quick recipe. So all I'm going to do, because remember, this is disinfectant, so we're going to go ahead and put in a lot of salts in here. So it's going to be a little salty. So I'm going to put 1 tablespoon, this is a tablespoon, of Soleil salt. And this is just going to be fast to make, so let's just do this. Okay, potassium bicarbonate. You don't need a lot of this, but we do want potassium in your mouth to be able to regenerate. So I'm just going to use just a small, like 1/3 of a teaspoon. That's all I need. And potassium bicarbonate is necessary for regeneration. You need potassium. If you want to regenerate, you need about 10,000 milligrams of potassium every day. Okay, that's probably 25 to 30 cups of really green leafy vegetables, bananas, and all those things. Are you getting that much? Well, you can supplement it. Most people only get about 2,000 milligrams of potassium a day. Most people. Okay, and if in order, and you'll see, a lot of people say all different requirements, but I found out if you want to regenerate, you need 6,000 to 10,000 milligrams or so a day of potassium in your system. Okay, potassium is one of the most important minerals you need in your system, and it's one of the most deficient in your system. You got way too much salt, not enough calcium, not enough magnesium, way too much calcium, way too much sodium, not enough magnesium, and not enough potassium. And this is this pump called the sodium-potassium pump. You know, not to get all around in different ways, but this is all important stuff. We're using, in order for you to detox your mouth, you have to use sodium and potassium. You want this pump to work. So if you put in sodium and potassium in your system, there's the thing called this action in your system, which is a lot of your energy, called the sodium-potassium pump. And calcium and sodium are outside of a cell like this, and they never go inside. And potassium and magnesium are inside, and they're throwing ions across from inside the cell, potassium, magnesium, and outside the cell you have calcium and sodium. And this pump has to go back and forth. So called this potassium-sodium pump, okay, magnesium pump. And if you don't have this, you're sick. And if you don't even have this in your mouth, remember, your cells do this. So this is going to help your cells purge, because we have potassium in here too. So sodium bicarbonate, we're going to use a lot of this. So what I do here is I put in like 1 tablespoon and 2. And we've got about 30 ounces or so of distilled water in here. I try to only use distilled water. It's the only clean water there is. You can use RO water as long as you got a real good one, okay? But it's not easy to get fluoride out. It's not easy to go ahead and get pharmaceuticals out of your water. Just because you're filtering your water, just because you're buying your water, do you think it doesn't have pharmaceuticals in it? Of course it does. Now, you don't have glyphosate in your diet, and you were tested for glyphosate.
Yep, I was loaded with it.
And you're loaded with it. So was I. I don't have glyphosate. I haven't had it in a long time, and if I do have it, it's because I probably went to the restaurant, organic schmorganic again. Okay, so everybody here's got a load full of glyphosate in their body. How are you going to get it out? Okay, and it's not just by drinking things. There's all different therapies that you would have to do locally to be able to get the cells to be able to purge BPA, to be able to purge petroleum distillates. So it's a lot of local things, and of course one systemic. You take certain things in your body and then you get massage and try to push it out. But if you have a prostate, how are you going to get that stuff out of there? You're not. Okay? How are you going to get the fluoride out of your thyroid? What, are you going to squeeze it? Okay? There's certain halide compounds and certain types of compounds that you can put in your body that'll actually boot those out. The thyroid protocol using iodine will boot out the fluoride in your thyroid. Okay? So there's a lot of things. It's not why you're taking the maintenance amount. No, you guys are detoxing. You need to take therapeutic dosages. So this is it. Like I said, it's a simple mouthwash, but you can see I'm adding therapeutic dosages. We're putting a lot of stuff in here. Okay, so that's this. We're going to use MSM. Sulfur. You need sulfur. Okay? MSM is very special to take internally. And it's really, really good to use in anything from enemas. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon of MSM. Doesn't taste the greatest. And you can put more of that if you want. But that's all I found out you need. There's no need to waste a lot of stuff. This lasts me a long time, MSM. A pound of this. Fossil shell flour. This could last me a couple years. Okay, and it's all cheap stuff. Once you buy all this stuff, the magnesium minerals, I go through that myself every 2 weeks. Myself. Okay, so there's another tip too. You guys are fasting right now, and if you feel like you're weak, you need to go ahead not only twice a day like we talked about, rubbing on coconut oil, magnesium, and cacao butter so you can get transdermal feeding because you need conductivity. If not, you get weak and tired and you feel like you want to stop fasting. So you need the minerals. And you could go ahead and do 10 drops of magnesium and 10 drops of Soleil salt a couple times a day if you want to, out of maybe the 10 or 15 glasses of water that you drink. Distilled water is the dry water, and then you can, because you're going in the sauna all the time, so when would you use the minerals? In the sauna with you. Okay, you're going to purge out water, and you want to make sure you have enough minerals inside you, because that's the only dangerous thing of fasting, is you don't have the minerals inside you. You need electrolytes. That's it. Otherwise, everybody can fast for 2 weeks. Piece of cake. But you can't fast for 2 weeks unless you have an availability of minerals in your system. If not, you get too weak and you feel sick. Does anybody feel sick? You're on your second day right now. Anybody feel sick and nauseated from not eating?
No, nauseated.
Nauseated?
No,
No?
nauseated, no.
What did you? How did you feel? And you've never fasted before. Never fasted for a day. Okay.
A lot of pain.
What's that?
A lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
Pain and
A lot of pain. You felt. Okay,
Yeah.
because you've been in pain though previously, but now you feel maybe it's more sensitive.
my neck, my spine,
Mm-hmm.
just everything.
Yeah, and I'm going to call you Stella.
Still.
Okay. Stella, just like everybody, has a degenerational process from you're 20 years old. Everyone's degenerating from day by day. Okay, so the older you get, the more stuff you have to take off slowly, a little at a time. And the younger you are, you can really go ahead and actually detox very quickly. But for me, it took me at least 6 months for me to be able to feel good. You know that there's a lot of other people here doing things, okay? But in order for your body to go ahead and uptake the new lifestyle, it takes about 3 months, and 6 months you feel real good and you know you're on the right program, okay? You look in the mirror, you change. Everybody says, wow, what are you doing? Okay, you guys only 2 days and look at the difference in you. Everybody's lost like 20% face swelling when you first came. Okay, and the most noticeable person that has changed is you. Look at her now. I didn't notice you as much this afternoon, but now you got a jaw. Yeah.
You look very good.
No, everybody's got their own change.
You look younger.
Everybody looks younger, is what it is.
It's only day 2.
Okay, everybody's, day 2.
Yeah.
Everyone's got brighter light. So, okay, so let's finish this one now. So we're going to use fossil shell flour. The fossil shell flour is for, what do you think? What do you think this stuff's for?
Scraping it up a little bit.
This is a
Buffer?
they're silicon diatomaceous earth. They're little silicon, little animals. They're dead, of course, and they're pure silica. And you really can't absorb it. So you can eat this stuff and everything else, but this silica is like the silicon, my crystal here. you're not going to be able to absorb it too easy. So this is for an abrasive. This is like putting calcium inside your toothpaste. Yeah. Okay, because you go, and this stuff going back and forth, slowly, if the microbes are in there, this stuff scratches them and makes them so they can't go ahead and be protected at all. Every microbe has its own protective mechanism. This is why they're not easy not to kill, to get rid of. Each one. Look at a snail outside and know its protective mechanism because it's got slime. If you take away its slime, it dies. Okay? So a lot of people use diatomaceous earth in their garden. They use it in their pillows. They spray it inside their cabinets. It's because bugs, it bothers them. It makes them itch. And it scratches their skin, and now they get sick. It doesn't hurt people, though. I've taken a lot of this before. So now you can see, now it really changed color. It looks milky now. And just a big spoon, big heaping teaspoon, or like a tablespoon. Again, these two I put about the same in a lot of times. Okay, I only put a little bit of sodium bicarbonate or the potassium bicarbonate in. I only put a little bit of the MSM in, but I put a lot of fossil shell and a lot of sodium bicarbonate. So the next thing, all we're going to do is, because if you're going to use this mouthwash and you're just going to use it like normal, why would you put silica in there? It's a waste. Okay. This is concentrated silica, and all we need to do is, in this size right here, just put like a half a teaspoon in. It's just a half a cap. That's all you need. It's because you're going to keep this in your mouth. And this little bit with all this stuff in here is going to have to go somewhere because you're going to keep it in, and it goes right in your gums. And it protects your gums now from those little guys that want to eat it. Okay, so think of the silica as sort of like a friend. The magnesium is your friend. These guys here are neutralizers, the white powders. Okay, the fossil shell flour is for you to be able to use as an abrasive. Now you're going to make it so it tastes good. Peppermint does nothing really for you. It just makes it feel like, wow, I got mouthwash. Makes you breathe good and everything. So I'm going to put in like, I don't know, I put in like 10 drops. 5 to 10 drops. I like putting a lot of stuff in because it's, you know, because you're only, remember, you're not drinking this. You're only putting a small amount in your mouth. And this is clove now. Clove, remember, has eugenol in it. They use this for an anesthetic in a lot of countries. Clove oil, like clove cigarettes. That's why a lot of people like smoking cloves, because it's got eugenol in it. Whoa, okay, and that's an anesthetic, and it gets you sort of high. So this is clove oil, and it's a really good parasite killer. We show people how to use this with different types of capsules that you can fill up with various things to be able to see if you can get to the rogue parasite when you're clean inside your belly. Okay, so this is clove oil. I'm going to put in, same thing, about 10 drops, equal amount, or 5 of each, whatever you use 1-to-1 ratio. So let's say if you want to make it taste better, you can always put a couple drops of stevia. So let's just do that, just because we're here. Okay, and this is orange blossom. So you smell that.
Oh my gosh.
Smell that.
Like a cologne.
And this is to take the place of sugar, because it's got 0 calories, okay, and it's really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? And 5 drops, if you put it in your tea, that's a pretty decent amount, but it's all diluted because there's a lot of weird stuff in here. Remember, we don't have anything in here that's really bitter. It's just salty. This one over here, that's going to be a different story. Okay? Now, you can, if you want to, especially if you're fasting with this mouthwash, you could, if you want to, you could put in, because remember, you want to cut the gut to the mouth connection. You use the scraper, but you can also put like a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne in here. And that really purges, okay? Purges this connection. It's not for detox. It's to disconnect the mouth to the belly, because there's a lot of mind control. Look, the tongue is connected to the brain. And if you sort of disconnect this connection, you're not hungry at all, because there's no signal there. Okay, it's very smart to go ahead and just tongue scrape when you go home every time before you eat. And every time before you eat, try to drink 32 ounces of water 10 minutes before, so you can fill your system up. And if you have stomach problems because you don't have that much acid in your stomach, what do? Put a 1/4 teaspoon of Soleil salt in there. The salt has chloride in it. The chloride makes acid. And if you don't have enough salt in your system, then you can't make hydrochloric acid. Very, very simple. And so most people think salt's bad for you. Yeah, it is. If you eat sodium chloride salt, that's junk salt. That's man-made salt. But if you use natural salt, it doesn't just have, remember, sodium and chloride, that's man-made. That's 2 minerals. This has 80 in it. Sodium, chloride, plus all those minerals. That's why the salt is pink. Pink Himalayan salt. It's full of minerals. So this is not just salt. So regular salt is poison and it will dry you out. Remember, I had to help Pedro next. I had to go in his kitchen, and he's using salt. He's Latino, and he does, you know, everything's changed. The old days, a lot of things were good. Now you got to upgrade, enhance, and optimize, because you find out the old days are gone. So salt is not salt. Okay, water is not water. Sugar's not sugar. Okay, food's not food anymore. Nothing's the same anymore. So we put the stevia for flavor. We put the silica in. Make sure we got everything. We put the salt in. And I don't think I put the minerals in yet, did I? No? No. Okay, so the minerals, we're going to put in a decent amount of these. So you want to put in like a teaspoon. So teaspoon's like 20 drops. 10, 20. I'm going to put 30 in this one. I'm going to put 40 in there. I like a lot. It's a little better. Because remember, the magnesium, for me, for people that have unhealthy mouths, the magnesium sometimes burns. Yeah. Okay, it's like when you put magnesium on your skin for the first time, you go, ouch! And if it hurts, it's only because you have cuts in your skin. And if it hurts, if I put this in my mouth, try a couple drops. Whoo! Woo-hoo! Remember, these are minerals. The first thing it's going to do is light up your head. Bing! Ha ha! She made face. Wow. Yeah. All right, Stella's reaching her hand out. She wants some. Ha! Okay, this is the stuff that when you're finished with this mouthwash, this is what you do after the mouthwash if you want to re-go back some of your gums. And then you just keep it in your mouth. You don't swallow it. Swallow it later. But now all the magnesium's going in all the tissues. Okay, after the mouthwash that you do. Remember, this is a therapy. So you just walk around the house. It doesn't take any time. People say, oh, it takes too long. No, it doesn't. Let me just mix this up. Top. Okay, so anytime you use your, it's got to be in glass. This is one of our coconut oil jars, and I save all my jars. Okay, good ones. And every time you use this, you always have to shake it right before. So what? Okay, and I'm gonna put in. This is what I would do. Who is that? Look, put your eyes up next to it. Just your eyes. Feel it burn?
Yeah, wow.
Oh, the vapors? Okay, here we go.
Critters in there.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the best I've ever seen.
Mm. 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 I'll spit mine out, but you swish it back and forth really hard. Really hard. Jeez, that's good. Mm. And everybody can, try some if they want in a little glass, but this is what you'd make. And this is the basic formula. This is the daily formula. If you don't have trench mouth, just think, guys, where your mouths have been. And I won't say anything more. Okay? Just think where your mouths have been. Okay, remember, the human mouth is way dirtier than the dog, and it licks its arse. Ha! Okay? So they say. Okay? But I didn't even keep, look at the bubbles in there, inside mine. Look at the power in there.
Can we sip it from the jar?
Yeah, you can. That's all right. You won't catch anything. Remember, you're fasting. Now swish. Just keep it in there. And remember, you're not spitting it. Oh, you want to keep it in for, that's all right. But you got it in your glass anyways. You can put it back in. You want to keep it in for first time, put it in for if you can, 5 minutes. Because all this stuff is going to go into your face. And you can feel it in your eyes. Remember, your parotid glands right now, okay, are located on the side of your jaw. And the parotid glands on this therapy is going to be purged. It's not even doing coconut oil pulling. It's totally different than that. Okay, this is a liquid, and the coconut oil pulls stuff. This stuff is going in, and it's softening up, so when you do coconut pulling, maybe it'll work. Okay? Oh, is that good? Okay, so I didn't even do anything. So now what I would finish is I would, either, if I wanted to, okay, I would take a little coconut oil if I wanted to brush my teeth and shine up my teeth, and I take a little fossil shell flour, okay? And if I want to whiten up, we'll go through a good video on how to whiten your teeth naturally. But this is just a low budget way. And you just grab some of the, it's in your bathroom, it's yours. Just put in your toothbrush in there and put in the fossil shell flour, okay, or diatomaceous earth, but you don't do it dry because it'll scratch your gums. So what do you use? Coconut oil or castor bean oil. And it's a 5-minute therapy if you have time. You just put it in the mouth and it's just watching TV. Really soft. That's it. And you're slowly, working your gums. And it's not brushing your teeth, you're brushing your gums. And you get under the gums. Okay, so this is part of the mouthwash. You can do this just like you did, just real quick. Let's say you took a smoke off a cigarette like everybody does, okay? Now you've got this garbage in your mouth, and that's the reason being, I don't care if you smoke cannabis, I don't care what you're smoking. This is why people lose their gums. Is because their gum starts receding, is because that microbe, okay, latches in to the flesh, and it can eat that too. Okay, and constantly, people don't smoke once a day. They're constantly, so what this does, this wipes out, I don't care if you had garlic in your mouth pretty much. And you may burp up the garlic, but it takes all that garbage out of your mouth. Okay, so you still got it in your mouth? You took yours out, how's it feel?
Unbelievable.
Cheap, and it's good.
Yeah.
And it's not just mouthwash. It's actually a therapy. Oh, even the cameraman. He's got it going. That's Hunter, the master cameraman. Okay, so, well, you can even, remember, it's always good too. You can always keep reusing, doesn't matter. Like mine right here, wherever it went. I lost mine. Oh, this was mine. Oh, that's a set, different one. But look at all my bubbles still. Look at all the stuff. See, this purges your mouth. It's not just a mouthwash. Whatever's in the cells with the potassium, the sodium bicarbonate, the magnesium bicarbonate, all the stuff, this purges your cells. It just makes them spit. Remember, this is going in order for it to go in the cell, it's got to spit something out, doesn't it? I mean, it's a little in, a little out. So this is what this therapy does. If you just wanted to use sodium bicarbonate, like I said, and peppermint, that works. That's just a sort of a low-budget mouthwash. But when you put all this stuff in here, now it's a purge. And especially when you keep it in for a couple minutes. So this is basic formula. This is a daily formula. And I would use this, if you smoke or if you eat any food, you do this afterwards. And you can bring a small amount with you at work or wherever you're going, but you just put it in your mouth like this. Or even during the day. How about you got bad breath because you haven't eaten any food and you're hungry? Drink a big thing of water and put this in your mouth. I guarantee you in 5 minutes you will not be hungry. It's because, remember, all this stuff is going into your head. It's directly, look, all these minerals, everything, you're putting it, like injecting it into your body. It goes into your mouth and goes directly into your bloodstream if you can keep it in your mouth long enough. So this is why, look, 2 minutes is a maintenance therapy. And if you wanted to use this basic, how long do you keep it in again? 5 minutes. Up to 20 minutes. Vacuum the house. And don't just put it in. And then when you're finished too, you can take like a towel and you can, with a little bit of the fossil shell flour, and buff not your gums, but your teeth. It'll make them super white because this is like rubbing compound on your car. You could use this on your car too. It takes off fine scratches. Okay, so this is part one. Any questions anybody has on how to use this or anything on the recipe on how to make it? Remember, you have 3 salts. Sodium bicarbonate, potassium bicarbonate, and sole salt with all those minerals. Okay? The salts, you have MSM, sulfur, that kills in the mouth, as long as you keep it in for a while. You've got peppermint and clove. When you mix them, is a beautiful thing. You could mix peppermint and clove and have a really nice smelling essential oil that nobody knows. You could mix which is really good and everybody can try, is you take clove and you take lavender, 50-50, lavender, 50% clove, rub it in, and nobody knows that smell, and it is the nicest. It's not a female smell, it's not a male smell. It's the nicest smell I've ever smelled. And everybody, when I put it on, everyone goes, whoa, what's that smell? I can't figure it out. So this is one of the things that I found, okay, that actually makes you smell good, but you feel good. Remember, all the oils that you put in your system, especially when you put it in your mouth, it has to be clean essential oils. You can't buy ones that are made with ethers. This is the Now brand we have on our recommended products list. You can get them through Amazon. But you need to get steam distilled essential oils. I don't go for those little ones for $30 by these multi-level marketing companies. I'm not going to say any names. That's not effective. You're not going to use enough to make it worth your while. Half an ounce for 30 bucks? Really? Okay, you get 2 ounces here. This was like $7, steam distilled. It has to be in glass. Any essential oil that you get, if it's not in glass, you get scammed. These essential oils eat the plastic. Just like when you drink distilled water, if you buy it at the store, it tastes like plastic because it's in a plastic bottle. Booby trap. Distilled water is good. It is good distilled water. It's so good that it's eating the plastic that they're storing it in. Wow. It's good for your iron, maybe. That's about it. But then again, it's not, because after you iron your clothes and you put on whatever in your iron, it's putting steam and it's putting all that garbage into your clothes.